Hello, everybody. We are back for for Sprint League. Woohoo! How is everybody doing? Hello, Saeed. How are you, my friend? I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, in this round, I believe all Staba has to do is not DNF for both races, and he will be champion, which is interesting. Yo, Minnie here. Last races of the season. Let's do this nice and clean, everyone. Well, mate, Minnie, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's fucking Sprint League. If you want clean racing, you've come to the wrong place, my friend. I'm just kidding. I'm sure we'll be fine. Alright, so I believe that is everybody with Rigo here. Let's smash. Yeah, sure, Steva, come over. You don't have to type in YouTube chat to get my attention, baby girl. You can just phone me, you can ring me up. You know, I'm always here for you. Mwah. You know, sitting here, I've realized that if I was racing right now, I would be having a lot more fucking fun than doing this comms bullshit. But oh well. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Let's get this fucking bullshit underway. Every limb in my fucking body is in pain right now. If I had to place money, if I had to bet on who's gonna win this race, I am going to say that DDK is going to win in Silverstone, and you know what? I think Jack is going to win in what's the second race? Bahrain. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I think Steba is gonna win in Bahrain. Hi, Booma. Hey, baby girl. How you doing? Hey, girlfriend. It's 8 p.m. and Booma has just sent the message, so we'll be starting very shortly or something. Yeah, we're starting. Alrighty. Everybody's gonna be putting their setups on right now. Some idiot's gonna click ready up when nobody's ready, and we're gonna get going earlier than usual. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're all set to get underway. It's 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. It looks like MBMA got the better of the starts on that front row, but New Squid nevertheless is still going to try and challenge him down the inside. New Squid and MBMA side by side for the lead of the race. Noof is going to have that inside line and further back the two Alfa Romeos also going at it. Rigo in P3, but it looks like it is New Squid ahead of MBMA going onto this back straight, but he's gone wide onto the curbs and off track, and MBMA is going to try and sneak down the inside, and he gets the position. Looks like Noof just had to run off track there to try and defend, and they're going 3 wide into the next corner. Jack down the inside as well. There's a Rebel going wide, and it's Jack who's taking the lead of the race. Rigo trying to maybe go for a move around the outside of MBMA. He's going to try and hang it around this hanger straight, I think. That's what it's called, and he's gonna be ahead going into Cops. That's a great move for Rigo, and it's currently an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Further back, we have Daxi and Moose King going at it. These guys are all scrapping away. Looks like Daxi's just gonna have to settle behind DDK into the S section, and yeah, it looks like Rigo is gonna have a look around the outside of Jack, maybe just not enough top speed to get that move done. He has the soft tires. Further back, it looks like Jaguar and Moose are going at it. Jaguar down the inside at Stowe, and now around the outside of the final couple of corners. Maybe a bit of contact there between the Haas and the Aston Martin, and Steba sneaks on through to get P8. Booma and DDK as well now going side by side into turn 1. It's going to come out on top. It looks like it's going to be Booma, if I could get a good angle on this. DDK is still trying it down the inside of Booma, which turns to the outside. A bit of contact there, and that's going to allow Daxi to try and squeeze his way through DDK, and up into P5 he goes. Daxi, now the driver in P5, moves a bit to the left to try and break the slipstream. DDK is going to try and hang it around the outside, but run out of grip there. No, matter of fact, he's going to sneak down the inside, and he's going to actually get this position done on Daxi, who into Cops is just a bit too far back to fight it and has to settle for P6 behind the Alpine of DDK. It's further ahead, as actually DDK goes wide into Cops, and that allows Daxi to move up past him into the S section. Further ahead, it looks like Daxi is all over the back of MBMA. Maybe going to try and use some of that battery to go down the inside, and yes, he is. Daxi down the inside at Stowe. MB leaves him the space, and that is another move for Daxi, who moves himself up into P4. Further back, Steba now trying to get around DDK, and is actually going to go around the outside of MBMA as well through the last corner. Gets on that sausage curb, which leaves him a little bit vulnerable to the cars behind. Let's see if he'll manage to hold on to this position into turn 2, I believe it is. As MB and DDK go side by side, DDK just backs out of that one, and MB too far behind to make an impression on Steba. Let's have a look at these guys. Saeed trying it, but not quite going to get it. Jaguar as well now. Behind DDK, DRS has been enabled as it is lap 3. These guys all settling in a bit. MBMA looks like he's getting kind of swallowed up from these guys behind. It's DDK now round the outside, gets the position ahead of MBMA, who might try to fight this back into cups actually. He's not really lost out too much, as it looks like Jaguar and MB are going to go side by side. Jaguar down the inside at cups, gets past MB. Very good move. Is now Big Turns as well, taking advantage of it. And Big Turns manages to clear him as well. Mini Turns, his brother, gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit infringements. As now Saeed is trying it on MB and is going to get that done as Daxi moves himself ahead of Booma. And it looks like Big Turns and DDK going side by side into Stowe. Space is left. And a bit more contact with DDK and Big Turns. DDK just having to back out of it, and Big Turns moves himself past the Alpine and up into P7. Further back, looks like the Aston Martins and the Ferrari going at it. Saeed not quite close enough to go for on DDK this lap. Let's go DDK. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go. Let's have a look at Rigo and Jack, actually. It's Rigo now with DRS, is going to try around the outside. Does he have enough grip to try and hang it? That outside line turns into the inside. That inside line is better for making a move, and he does move himself up into P1. But now Jack is going to have that slipstream advantage all the way down into cups. He's using his battery, going to try it around the outside. Yeah, he just gets Rigo back into cups. Definitely running either a bit less downforce, but it looks like he's out of battery actually, that's fucking interesting if he is, because that means that this is going to be a free pass now for the lead for Rigo on this back straight. And yeah, with DRS wide open and the use of the battery, Rigo quite comfortably moves himself back up into P1 past Jack. For the back, Steba and Booma going side by side into cups. Steba around the outside of Booma gets a 3-second penalty, but he gets the position and he darts into the pits, as does Jack. Alright, so these two starting on the soft tires, and lap 5 is when they've decided to pit. Matt gets a 3-second time penalty for track limit infringements. That is, well, it can happen to anybody, I guess. Right, so Jack is gonna get a nice undercut on Rigo. Rigo deciding to stay out. He's also on the soft tires. Daxi on mediums. Actually, you know what? I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but there we go. That's much better. So Daxi using a fair bit of his battery, maybe just trying to get into the DRS of Rigo, or maybe just trying to minimize the damage from the undercut, who knows. Booma quite comfortable in P3 at the moment. He is on the better strategy compared to those who started on the soft tires, and if Daxi can chop this gap away to Rigo, he's going to get him at the end of the race, because he's just on the superior strategy at the moment. That gap is big, but I don't know, it really depends. Rigo is definitely going to come in at the end of this lap. He has to respond to the undercut. Let's pray he doesn't get a 5-second penalty. And he does. Italiano gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I should have kept my fucking mouth shut. God damn it, man. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's like MB goes into the pits as well. He's on a set of mediums. Maybe he's trying the God strategy or something. There's a Williams off track, and is that the Ferrari of Joleri who's spun around at turn 1? And yes, it is. Maybe a bit of contact there. Not quite sure what happened. But, yeah. Jaguar and Buma are going at it as well. Jaguar down the inside of Buma. With that DRS, manages to get the position ahead of Buma. Further back, we have a Alpine off track, that is DDK, who gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Said and Noof going at it. Noof around the outside. He's on the softer tires, but those are going to be hurting right about now. That Red Bull straight line speed absolutely breezes past the Alpine into Cop's corner. Said goes wide for good measure. Let's have a look at big turns. He is almost pushing that McLaren down the straight, using all the battery he can into Stowe, down the inside. Buma's going to try and hang it around the outside, and Buma darts into the pits. That was pretty late, but gets himself in without a penalty, which is great. So, Daxi pits, Jaguar pits, Buma pits. So that leaves Big Turns, who is still out on that set of soft tires. Yeah, he's going to get undercut pretty big here, but he should still come out in a decent position. These mediums for Mini Turns and Moose King over here, this is how long I would want to take them, as DDK's mic just turned on or something. I don't know how to mute that. That is very annoying. Moose King gets a 3-second time penalty as Mini Turns is trying it around the outside, maybe just having a bit of a look. Not quite enough as... Wait, I'm not sure who was in front, actually. Rigo gets past Jack with the 1 lap fresher tires. What happened to Jack? Jack is off! Jack is off, guys. Oh my god, okay. Jack went off the circuit and has lost quite a few positions, and that leaves Rigo in a very nice position to try and win this race now. He is low on battery, but he's currently P1. Daxi is on the softer tires till the end of the race, so I guess it's a straight fight between Rigo, Daxi, and Staba for the win of this race. Moose King gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's always fun. So at the moment, it's definitely advantage Daxi with the greater ERS level and the softer tires and the fresher tires, matter of fact. But we'll wait to see how this race goes on. As Joleri now comes into the pits, as does Moose King and Big Turns and Noof Squid and Mini Turns. Right, so Matt's still out, leading a race in that Red Bull. Yeah. It's been a while since Matt led a race. It's so cute. So Daxi has already caught up to the DRS of Rigo, and he's within 0.6 of Rigo in front. 0.5. So the only way I see this going in Rigo's favor is if after Daxi passes him, he can just hang within the DRS and then save some of his battery up and really go for it on the last lap, because that's when his tires are going to be better than the softs. Softs will wear out. They won't be quicker till the end of the race. As now with DRS and a 1.5 gap, it's safe to say that Daxi is going to comfortably swoop around the outside of Rigo on the straight and move himself up into P2, or the net lead of the race. Staba further back in P4, gonna want to try and catch up to these boys up ahead, getting their DRS again. Jack is pretty close off the back of Buma as well, as Daxi sets the fastest lap of the race so far. Yeah, see, Rigo's doing good here. He needs to not let that gap slip away from him and just try and stay with Jack as much as he can. I mean, stay with Daxi as much as he can. Just hang with him in his DRS. So, after those first few laps, there's not really a lot going on track at the moment. DDK joins back after leaving or disconnecting or something. Maybe a rage quit, who knows. Jaguar is close behind Steba. Steba's actually losing time to the guys in front. Might be because of DRS, might just be because of pace. Who the fuck knows? That was probably a track limit warning for Rigo there. He's trying to avoid those. Well, he does already have a penalty. 5 seconds. I mean, yeah, that's not getting removed. If he wants like any hope of this, he needs to try and I don't know, man. He needs to do something. I don't fucking care what he does. Anywho, Matt comes into the pits, and that leaves Daxi out on track in P1. So, unless Rigo can overtake him and pull a 5-second gap, we're pretty much looking at our race winner because Daxi doesn't tend to make mistakes. Or, well, if he does, it won't be just by driving solo in a low-pressure environment like this. He knows he just has to keep it on track if he wants this win. Steba and Jaguar, pretty close. Jaguar not quite close enough to go for it on Steba, as we have Matt letting mini turns through. Okay. Thought we might have actually seen some racing there, but guess not. I think we'll be looking at a Jaguar overtake on Steba this lap. As they head through whatever that corner is called and onto whatever this straight is called, as MBMA gets a 3-second time penalty. Jaguar blasts past Steba on the straight and into Stowe. He is completely ahead and up into the final podium position. As Steba is actually going to try and fight this back, maybe have a look around the outside, try for the switchback, but not through that corner. He's going to have to wait just a little bit longer. Is he going to try to go for it down the inside of turn 1? No, he's not. Just going to back out of it. A bit of a lift in through turn 1. Let's see if he'll have the dive. No, we won't. That's boring, Steba. Fuck's sake. Give me some entertainment, buddy. So, yeah, that's some entertainment. That's a tap. That's fun. So now, let's see. With DRS, will he be close enough to go for it down the inside on Jaguar? He's going to have that inside line. These two are going to go side by side. Jaguar now with the inside. That is the better line through that corner. As we can see, Jaguar and Steba, nothing in it between these two, as now they head side by side onto the Hamilton straight, and Jaguar just settles behind Steba through cups. Maybe the smarter decision because he's going to have the DRS advantage on the long back straight. Jack gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, with these two fighting like this, there's a good chance that Rigo could try and finish in P2, as now Jaguar once again gets past Steba. Further back, MB and Jack. What happened to Jack? Jack had a bit of a spin. He's off. He's off fucking circuit, mate. You Brits talk funny. Oh my god, mini turns. If your name is Joseph Turner, is your name mini turns because like Turner, turn? Jack decides to pit on lap 12. That's a scummy tactic. That means he's going to start from the front row in the next race. But he could make the argument he's going for fastest lap. I don't fucking understand why, because he lost like 5 positions doing that. So, yeah, I don't know. He would get a lot more points if he didn't go for fastest lap, but whatever. Steba now. Still close to the back of Jaguar. I'm not quite sure if his tires are going to be in better shape compared to that Williams, but he's still hanging in there, which tells me that his pace isn't that bad. Jaguar is currently chopping away at Rigo's advantage to him. 3.7 seconds is the gap between Jaguar and Rigo, which with Rigo's 5-second time penalty would drop him down. Currently behind Buma, so into P5. So Steba gets a bit out of shape through that final corner, and that's going to give Buma a lot of motivation to try and maybe have a move on Steba in front. That McLaren is a very quick car. Just getting everybody's onboards. So yeah, on this last lap, it's definitely going to be Daxi who's going to win this race. Steba may be looking for a little something on Jaguar, but just not going to be able to get it. At the moment, with his penalty, he's going to drop behind Buma as well. So we might be on for a Buma podium. And with that, an Alpha... no, actually. Alright. Buma can get on the podium 100%. Steba now with a last-ditch effort to try and go for it around the outside of Jaguar, and he does get the position, while Daxi is going to cross the line in P1 to take a win at Silverstone. Rigo is going to finish in second, but with that 5-second time penalty, we wait to see how far he drops back. Yep, Steba finished in P3, but it's going to be Jaguar P2 and Buma in the final podium slot in P3. Rigo drops down to 4th, Steba into 5th, Big Turns finishes 6th, MBMA after starting on the front row finishes 7th, Noof Squid P8, Said P9, Joleri P10. And that rounds off your top 10 for the first race at Silverstone, guys. I don't know how the fuck I'm doing this shit, man. Well, I'm just glad that finished early. So yep, Daxi picks up a win and the fastest lap here at Silverstone. Great job to him, great job to Jaguar, and great job to Buma, who are your top 3 finishers here today. Jag actually went up from P13 all the way up into P2. It was very impressive. God. All right, so with that P5 finish, Steba is your Sprint League Season 13 champion. So, yeah, big congrats to Steba for winning the title. Big up, Mandem. My legs hurt. Yeah, this is gonna be the most boring fucking stream whenever somebody watches it back. For some reason, everybody has to pick their car again. I don't know why that happens, but it does. Stupid game. Stupid game. I'm zoning the fuck out right now. Yes, Boomer. Hi. Oh? What about the constructors? 618 for you and Staba. 608 for the Turns brothers. Oh boy. 600 for Rigo driving for Alu and Joe. Oh boy. Wait, is Alu not here? Oh my god. Okay, so theoretically what Rigo needs to do is win this race. That's a given. He needs to win. And he needs you, Booma and Staba to score what Rigo needs to do is win the race, get 30 points, and then Booma and Stava score less than 12 points, and the Turns brothers have to score less than 22 points. Right? No. Less than 8 points. No. I can do this. I can do this. If Rigo scores 30 points, the Turns brothers have to score 22 points. Yeah, so mini turns and big turns have to score less than 22 points, and Rigo has to win for Rigo to win the constructors. Something like that. I'll try my best to keep track of that during the race. But I've already forgotten what it was supposed to be, so that's going to be tough. I just need you to want me. Am I asking too much? Let me put the head in. Ooh, I don't want more than that. I promise just a touch. It's a bright ass light. Man, I'm so tired, bro. Alright, so we're ready to get underway. 5 red lights. It's the lights out and away we go. Matt starts from pole. It looks like he got a pretty decent start. DDK in P2. Jack is going to try and challenge for DDK and try and get past him. They're 3, almost 4 wide going into turn 1, but it's Matt who leads through turn 1. Mini turns, comes out in front in P2, but DDK swoops around the outside and moves himself past the Aston Martin. Jack trying to pick up the pieces now and make a move on mini turns, maybe around the outside as Mini goes a little bit deep. They barely avoid contact, and further back it looks like that's Alpha Tauri getting a bit out of shape there, as we have yellow flags. That is for the Mercedes of MBMA. Now, looks like Steba is going to try and go for it down the inside of OG Moose King. That's going to turn to the outside line for him, which is very tricky in this corner. He knows better than to send it, but he's going to stick his nose up there regardless. And they lose a bit of time, and Steba has to back out of the position as well. And yeah, it looks pretty relatively neat and tidy. Looks like Jack is trying for it around the outside of mini turns and manages to get himself up into P3. Further back, Rigo and Big Turns. Rigo is ahead of Big Turns, and up into P13 is the Alfa Romeo. DDK very close behind Matt. I don't think it'll take too long before he manages to actually clear him. and get past. Yeah, whoa, holy shit, that is bright. I can't even see anything. But DDK gets himself past and up into P1. Further back, Jaguar and Moose King going at it. Steba trying to have a bit of a look, and further back it looks like, actually, I think we're all good as Jaguar settles behind Moose King. Steba in P6, just behind Mini Turns. Further back, we have Buma and Joleri going at it. Buma is going down the inside of the Ferrari, and he moves himself up into P11. His Big Turns and MBMA both pit, probably had damage. Whoa, that's a Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo going side by side. Matt trying to defend a bit from Jack there. This is 4P2 into, I believe that is turn 9, I think? I don't know. But Jack has to spend just a little bit longer behind Matt. Is now going to try and go for it down the inside. Jack, down the inside of Matt, gets the position ahead and moves himself up into P2. Just turn on the tire things. Yep. Alright, so Jack again starting on softs. That is, I just don't see why anybody would do that in a sprint race with no safety cars. Said moves himself up into P3. Past Matt, who's actually going to fight this one back, and it looks like Mini Turns is going to have a nice run on these two as well, so maybe trying for a double overtake here down the inside, gets himself past Said and past Matt, and Matt just looks like he got on the outside curb and loses out a heap of positions there, and now he's going to go side by side with Jaguar down into P7, P8 for Matt. As now Daxi is going to try down the inside of him as well. He doesn't have that DRS and just has to give that one up. Daxi looks like he might be trying something down the inside of the Aston Martin. No, he's not. Buma now all over the back of the Red Bull as well, and he's going to try around the outside of Matt. Maybe a little bit of a switchback. Was a bit of a tap from Rigo behind, and now Buma very close behind the Red Bull again, but just not close enough to go for it. MBMA gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane and retires from the race immediately in the pit lane. So luckily no carnage out on track. So at the moment, I don't think Alu and Rigo would be winning the Constructors title. I think for now it's going to go to Steba and Buma. Or actually, I have no idea. With big turns in P14, it gets a bit tricky. There's a AlphaTauri and a Williams sideways through the final corner. That's Steba and Jaguar. As now Daxi goes down the inside of OG Moose King and moves himself up into P5. Further ahead, Said and Mini Turns going at it as well. Said trying to defend that P3, but Mini Turns just manages to sneak his way through and up into the podium place. And this has kind of turned everything on its head, because now I think, I'm not sure who has that point advantage. I think it's still Buma and Steba with their 10-point gap to the Turns brothers. So big turns in P14, 31 seconds behind on the hard tires. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to get anything better than last here. Matt's still somehow hanging on in P8. It's not bad from him. He loves this track. We see Mini Turns weaving to try and break the slipstream a bit. Nothing wrong with that. So now Rigo is very close behind the Red Bull, but not close enough, it seems. Daxi very close behind Said and OG Moose King. Not close enough to go for anything through the final corner, but on the exit, it looks like he was able to put the power down a lot better than the guys in front. So with the slipstream, will he be able to make the double overtake stick? It looks like Mini Turns defends that outside line, and Daxi down the inside, 2 places in 1 corner. That's very impressive from him, and he's up into P3. So Daxi currently in P3 on the preferred strategy. So this might be a double win in the AlphaTauri for him, if he can pull this off. Which I'd be very impressed by, to say the least. We'll just have to see if his pace is any good from here on out. Yellow flag in Sector 1, that is the Red Bull of Noofsquid, who has spun around. Let me just figure out what the title would be as it stands. Said was pretty close behind many turns there, but nothing doing into that corner. I'll have a bit of a look further back as Rigo getting a bit frustrated behind that Red Bull of Matt. Needs to try and clear him fast. Because Steba is now right behind Rigo trying to pick up the pieces on their scrap. Okay, so with DDK and Jack pitting, that leaves Daxi out in P1. This time it looks like Rigo is finally going to go for it down the inside of Matt. And Steba just a bit too far back. Has a send, nevertheless. Steba down the inside of Ice Demon, and Jaguar Power is going to follow him through as well. Matt, a bit out of shape. Did he get tapped? Did he get touched? I think he might have been hit a little bit from Jalari, who slows down to let him go on. A bit of an error there from the Ferrari driver, and that causes Matt to drop down into P9. New Squid pits as well for a set of fresh tires. So we'll wait to see where everybody comes out at the end of these pit stops. Joe Larry now gets past the Red Bull of Matt and up in a P9. So Big Turns is currently 15 seconds behind the person in front, and that person has stopped for much fresher and softer tires than his, so I don't think he will be looking at improving from last. Unless there's somehow a red flag or something, in which case, yeehaw. It looks like Booma's been spun around! Booma spins out in the final corner. I'm not sure if he got tapped or if that was self-inflicted, but nevertheless, Siete Booma spins out through the final corner. Lots more people diving into the pits. Moose King, Mini Turns, Jaguar, all of them coming in for a change of tires. Daxi stays out, your race leader, still out in P1. Steba and Rigo fighting at it. These two are still yet to pit. Steba with the DRS and a bit of a better exit. Will he be able to get Rigo on this straight? Doesn't appear so. Just going to settle behind. Maybe try and go for a move on that long main straight. Sorry I zoned out again. Okay. Steba now definitely going to try and go for it as Daxi comes into the pits, as Rigo goes into the pits, and Steba goes into the pits. Said goes into the pits as well. Rigo gets another 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This man cannot seem to dodge these speeding penalties at the moment, and yeah, we'll see if that proves to be costly. Matt carries on into the lead. DDK moves past. Jack moves past. So currently net P1 is DDK with Jack in P3. Daxi comes out P4. Said P5. Mini turns, moves himself up in front of the Alfa Romeo of Rigo. Jaguar moves himself past Steba. And yeah, Joe Larry just comes out behind the Aston Martin of Voosking, who gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Looks like mini turns went down the inside of Said, got the position into turn 4, I believe. Yeah, I think it was turn 4. No, it's turn 3, isn't it? Yeah, it's turn 3. Well, I don't fucking know. So, I believe the only person left to make their stop is Matt, who gets overtaken by DDK. DDK with the much fresher tires gets the position comfortably in front of Matt. So yeah, after Matt pits, we'll do a quick calculation to see how it's looking for the Constructors' title. Let's take a look back at Steba and Jaguar here. Steba sets the fastest middle split so far of anybody in this session. And blasts his way past Jaguar on the straight. Maybe Jaguar just moves to the side a bit to get the DRS, but it doesn't matter because Steba's going to get DRS from... Or is he going to get DRS? No, he's not. Sets the fastest last split as well. Mac now goes into pits. Buma sets the fastest lap of anybody so far. 131.6. So, mini turns is going to get 5 points, which is 7. I mean, he's going to finish P5, which means 17 points. And big turns is going to get 9 points. So, that's 26 points for big turns. Right, and then Steba gets P7 here, which is 14 points. And if Buma gets P9, that's 12. It's 26 points. So yeah, at the moment, it will be Steba and Buma who will be Constructors' champions for this season. As it stands. Rigo not quite doing enough to get Alu in this conversation. Yeah. It was a mammoth task for him anyway. And he's done well, but just not going to be enough. Unless somehow he wins this, of course. At the moment, it is definitely Daxi who is in the best place to win this race, as it looks like Jack is going to try and have something for the lead here. Down the inside of DDK, he goes into turn 1. These two fighting is not a good sign because this is going to allow Daxi to catch up as much as he needs. Jack now with the DRS trying for it around the outside, using every last drop of energy he has. DDK and Jack are going to go side by side through this corner. It looks like there's just enough space for Jack left, who creeps his way through up into P1, but guess what? Daxi has shown up further back on the fresher tires, and he is well within the DRS range of these two in front. So, it's game on from here on till the last lap. Let's see who comes out on top between these three drivers. I think Stable moved himself past Rigo while all this was going on. Looks like DDK having a bit of a look around the outside of Jack. Jack manages to defend well, and looks like Daxi's going to try and creep his way through. Tries for it around the outside of DDK. Will he be able to get it done? There's more than enough space left for DDK, and Daxi moves himself up into second place. He has more battery than the cars in front as well, and he's going to have the DRS on this straight. So we're going to see Daxi take the lead at the start of the braking zone of this lap. Daxi now with DRS wide open, Jack defends the inside, but it's pointless because Daxi is just going to be so far ahead going into the braking zone. DDK now trying it down the inside of Jack. Jack manages to try and hold on as they're both going side by side. They both will have the DRS. It looks like DDK is just a little bit further ahead going into the braking zone. Jack needs to try and swoop around the outside. He had the better angle into that corner, should have had the better drive, but no, it is DDK who is up into P2 and way back from Daxi. That entire time they were fighting, Daxi has pulled a 1.6 second gap to P2, 1.7, 1.8, so Daxi is most definitely going to run away with this. Oh, sorry, I zoned out again. Jack. So now at the moment, with DDK's penalty, of course, 3 seconds. You never know if those are going to get removed or not, but yeah, I mean, Jack would want to finish ahead on track just in case. But yeah, it looks like Steba and Boom are pretty set to win the Constructors here tonight. As Steba trying for it on mini turns moves to the left and then aggressively back to the racing line to try and defend that position. I just stay in P5. Steba has the fresher tires. He's going to want this position. He's already won the Drivers' Championship, Steba, in the race prior. He needs the Constructors as well, which at the moment he's looking set to win. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes and spin out from here on out, the Constructors is well within the grasp of Steba. And Buma, of course. Steba, having a look down the inside, just backs out of it. Let's see another day. Mini turns manages to hold on to that P5. And yeah, Rigo and Steba, these two have been glued to each other for practically the whole race. As Rigo now going to try it down the inside of Steba, maybe just having a bit of a look. Not going to give the title up without a fight, it seems. As now Mini Turns moves to the right to try and break the slipstream, and then moves back to the left. That's a fair bit of weaving there. Not sure if that's allowed, but nevertheless, Rigo with a fantastic double overtake gets both the positions into turn 1. And through the exit of it, Steba is the one who came off worse, as he's the last of that 3-car train now. You're getting increasingly difficult. As, Steba, Mini Turns has a hell of a run on Rigo there. He's going to try it down the inside. Rigo and Mini Turns side by side. Steba so close further back. Oh, I have no idea how this is going to end as Rigo gets tapped by Steba, but nothing really comes of it. Steba manages to get himself past Mini Turns, and now is going to try and look for it through on Rigo, but not going to get it. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I believe that is for the Red Bull of Noof. So, Rigo in P5, ahead of these two. We're still going at it. Yeah, with Rigo's speeding penalty, he's not really fighting for finishing position here. He's just trying to have a nice battle, as we have another yellow flag, and that is for an Aston Martin. That is for OG Moose King, who rejoins a bit on the racing line there. I'm not sure Victor is going to be too happy with that. Jack moves himself past DDK, gets his man on track, and just has to hang on for this straight if he wants to see the checker. Staba moves himself past Rigo as DDK is going to have a dive down the inside of Jack. And Jack just manages to hold on and keep himself in P2 and goes a bit wide is DDK, and that's going to allow Saeed to slip his Williams through. He would have had the position on penalties anyway, but he just wants to make sure he gets it on track. Saeed into the podium places. He gets a bit of a tap there from DDK, who Saeed has to go off the track, and it doesn't look like DDK is going to be able to get past him, but so nothing really came of it, but it was a bit of a touch nonetheless. Further behind, Buma on the soft tires. Will he be able to make anything stick on Jaguar? Yeah, I mean, he is just so close with 14% battery. All of these guys going to go at it. It is Daxi who crosses the line in first and wins 2 in a row. It's really been his day, as that was DDK spinning across the line. Jack finishes in P2, Said P3, Staba gets P4, Mini turns P5, Buma all the way up into P6. So that means that the Drivers' Championship has been won by Staba, and the Constructors' Championship has also been won by Staba and Buma. So big congrats to these two for winning the championships. Jolary finishes P7, Jaguar P8, Matt from pole to P9, Big Turns finishes in P10, Rigo clinches P11, Moose King P12, and I'm sure New Squid is going to come home to finish in P13. So, Daxi from last to first. What a drive from him. Makes it 2 wins in a row in sprint. Very impressive. I'm sure a lot of... I think there is 5 people... There's got to be 6 people, I think, who have done that before. 6 or 7, I'm not sure, but Daxi adds his name to the list. So well done from him. Right, so Daxi with another win and fastest lap. Jack gets P2. Said P3, Staba P4, Mini turns P5, Buma P6 to help his teammate win the Constructors' Championship, Jolary P7, Jaguar P8, Matt P9, and Big Turns finishes off your top 10 here today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in next time on Thursday for the finale for Tier 2 and Tier 4 at Austria. It's going to be great. And yeah, take care, everybody.